and then I'm going to share the screen. You're able to see the screen? Tell me when you are, so then I can start. Okay. I see that it's started to share. So let's get to it then. The art and science of content writing. I know it's been a while now since I see the group that talks about how it's so difficult for people to create content, to create ideas, to ideate the content that they've created, to edit it and clean it and then publish it. A lot of people go to the end and then don't publish it, and that's where I feel really sad because I see that underconfidence. Probably after this exercise that we do in the next hour, what I want to see as a result of this experiment is that more people come out and write. Now, having said that, who am I? My name is Deepthi, and I'm a journalist who turned into PR. I'm a dreamer. I'm a lazy couch potato. I love my wine and I love content. I collect both of them in various forms. It could be books, it could be memes, it could be articles, it just could be newspaper clippings, and I just have a lot of content like that that's connected to each other in many ways. And also, I communicate. That's my business. What is content essentially? Is there anybody? Maybe I can open up the chat. People could type out there. I would want to see people typing their ideas of what content is, what they think of content as a skill is. So then maybe in the end we can see those chats. But what is content? Content is anything that is in a box, literally. You put something in a box, becomes a content, right? Now, that's just a very crude way of putting it, but content is anything that is written or seen, or content is anything that you plan. Content is something that's in your mind that's transformed into a tangible physical form. Now, the definition of content today has changed, its form quite drastically, and I see that content now is a process of planning, a process of writing. It's a process of marketing the content that you've produced. This could be for anything from a blog, it could be for a video like a script, it could be for an interview, it could be voice podcast, it could be for the radio, it could be for the newspaper, it could be for a magazine, it could be for anything. But the point is, content is a form of writing in today's context. So that's where we're going to focus. We're not going to focus on all the other types of content. But what makes your content stand out? It's very easy to just go ahead, write, go ahead, figure out how to, write. You can go learn the skill. You can probably even, you can even probably ask somebody to help like me. I could probably help you. And I think I have helped a lot of you people. I've cleaned up a lot of your content. I've edited a lot of your content. But what makes it stand out? Right? What is it? What is so unique about your content that it has to stand out? That is a skill, and I will tell it to you at the very beginning. That is a skill that you will get only when you write and read as much as possible. And it's not possible, in a day, in a week, in a year. Sometimes people like me, I've taken 15 years of writing to get to where I am. And I think I'm still learning. I think it's a continuous activity. It's a continual activity. You will have to keep doing it. You'll have to keep writing. You'll have to keep reading. Consume as much as you can. Therefore, you can, reciprocate it in many other forms like this one. Now, activity time. Let's do an activity. Since all of you are here, I want you to start writing one paragraph. We will have about, say, 3 minutes, or yeah, 3 minutes is good. There is this topic, dog. And I was telling this to a lot of people yesterday. People who are pet owners should definitely come, because they will have a lot of content that they can pick out of here. Now I want everyone who can open their notepads and start making at least 5 to 6 topics they can write about this particular topic, dog. Can we do that? I can actually, people can start telling me if they want to. I can write it down. If that makes sense. Cheshta, would you want to moderate this part?
Yeah, sure. So, come on, let's start writing.
I'll type it out
Who is
here.
going to
You
give
just
the
have to
first
give me the
idea?
names. You have to just give me topics. I can start if you want. Dog. Okay, this seems to be in. Okay, let's do
How
this.
to adopt a dog.
Okay, that sounds like a good topic. Why am I not able to do this? Okay, I know why.
How to start loving a dog.
Okay, what was the Cheshta first one?
How to adopt a dog.
How to adopt. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, next. Keep it coming. Nitin, what is this? I don't hear anything from you. Garima, come on, everybody, just start giving me topics so I can. We have only 3 minutes for this, so
Yeah, Nitin is saying how to make a dog feel like son.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a very sweet one. Okay, next.
Anu is saying how to tame in a friendly way.
Okay.
How to feed a dog. Supriya.
Okay, good ones.
Dog is
Okay. Okay. I see a lot of how-to questions. Anything else?
Dog is a man's best friend.
Okay.
How to train a dog.
That's simple. Yes, that's a good one. Huh? Okay. Anything else? Anything else at all?
5 food that are harmful for dog.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So we've got these many topics, right? So all of you can just, and we're not going to see this. So, this is a private thing and I don't want to, embarrass anyone. So let's pick out 1 or 2 topics that you liked from all of these topics that you guys have given. And in the next 2 minutes, write one paragraph, just one paragraph um, about any of this topic, anything at all. Just pick out a topic and let's write. I'll start writing right here. So, you guys can see what I'm writing because I don't have a problem. The world can see how horrible my writing is. I don't have a problem with that, but I know everyone's not comfortable. Let's write one paragraph about any of these topics that, you like. I'm starting off right here. Okay. Okay, I don't see anyone writing anything. Right. Okay, so I'm done. I've written a paragraph. Um, it's really crude, but it's still something. Um, okay, all right, we're gonna stop writing and go to the next slide. Now, Deepak has always, spoken a lot about CATT, and the reason that he does that is because it is probably one of the most important parts of digital marketing, and that is, content. content will remain king for the very long time to come, and the future, I think, is going to depend a lot on content. And everybody knows today that if there was no content, there would be no Google. Google literally depends on all the content that you and I put on it, and all the world's population put on it. Everybody goes to Google. Libraries have slowly become obsolete, and I don't see, how libraries can revive themselves unless, they really take a drastic turn and turn things around. But why is content such an important part of blogging? Why is it so important for newspapers? Why is it so important for you and me? It's because if you don't have it, you're not going to be on Google. It's as simple as that. Yes, I mean, unless your content is creative, unless how much of uniqueness can you really bring into the table, that depends on how many years of writing you've done. However, if you don't start today, your future is going to look very bleak. So when I say content, it's a very basic thing that people would ask. What is this content you keep talking about? There are 1,000 forms of content, but there are 120 types of specific content that makes sense in today's world, and some of them are these. What are these? These are long form contents, these are emails, these are announcements, these are magazines, these are newsletters, these are do's and don'ts posts, these are quotes, these are personal opinions, these are case studies, these are comments, these are microblogs, like the Twitters of the world. These are white papers, these are offline magazines, these are emails, these are comics, these are websites, which have content on them, FAQs, analogies, flyers, brochures, social media, newsletters, business proposals, RFIs and RFPs, and interviews. I think Divya was asking me about interviews a while ago. Interviews are a very important part of content because you get credibility, especially if you're interviewing a very credible person. You were talking about you were talking about a dermatologist that you wanted to interview. There are some specific things that you could do. Number one, you could ask about, was it a pediatric doctor that you wanted? Whoever it is that you wanted to interview, it's the first thing that you need to do is to understand that subject really well. Also, if it's about the third wave that you're talking about, you definitely have to make sure that you're what COVID is, and what ramifications of COVID have happened in the past few months. And then of course we will take that offline and we will talk about it. Lists are a very big thing today. Also is sponsored content. But I'm not going to go into all of these today, but I will definitely give you this spreadsheet so you could use it for whatever it is that you do in the later part of your life in this journey of content writing. So let's kickstart. Right? I'm going to minimize this window so I could see what I'm talking about. So how do you then begin writing a content, right? So we did this little exercise a little while ago of putting an idea in a box. Put an idea in a box and then jot down all that comes to your head around it. Ideally, you should do this on a whiteboard or on a paper, but with today's mind maps and Google's calendars and all of your other tools, you can do it online as well. But I would still suggest do it on a whiteboard, because whiteboard gives you a lot more clean slate, and a larger space usually helps you visualize better. So it's always good to have a large whiteboard. Write down your topic. When you write your topic down, also make sure that it is in a circle, because it's content, like I said, goes in a box, right? So when you brainstorm your ideas, try and do it in a closed room. Closed room because you have less distraction, you will have mind space, and when you write topics down, you're more clear and you don't have people coming in, peeping in and asking you what you're doing. Write these topics down as a chosen niche. So if I say dog, you have to put all those topics down that you want to write in and around that topic, and make sure that there is focus. Don't digress. When you digress, you get more topics and then you get more lost inside those topics. Let's not do that. We have to stick to that one box. Now, once you've decided to do that, what you have to do is the next step, select the most relevant ones today. I think there was a very interesting story that I read a few days ago about newsjacking, and I think I shared it also with a group. Um, let's say there is COVID third wave coming, and there is a mole. Given a choice, a mole would definitely newsjack and make a comic out of it, which is very relevant at that point in time, and it's very important that you do that. So what happens when you newsjack is, number one, on Google you will obviously compete. If not come on the top, compete. Your content becomes relevant for that time, because what also happens with content is their shelf life is very small. Unless you keep rehashing your content, you will become obsolete. We don't want that, right? The other thing that you need to definitely do is to research for facts. What I've seen in a lot of the articles that I've read in the last few weeks of working with DDIP, the Viking group, and I've read a lot of the articles that people have sent to me, is that you don't research. Facts make your stories credible. If you don't have facts, your stories will not hold water. If your stories hold no water, then your stories are not going to be read. It's as simple as that. If you want if you want yourself to be heard, if you want people to listen to you, you definitely need to research for facts. Facts make your story a lot more credible. Therefore, your trust building process kind of becomes more solid. The other thing I always suggest is, after you've done the first three steps, it's good to talk to somebody. It could be a colleague, it could be somebody in your niche, it could be somebody who is a competition but not a threat, somebody who you think has goodwill towards you. Talk about it in a manner that will engage them, and say, this is what I'm planning to do, this is the sort of article that I'm planning to write, this is how I have structured it in my head. What do you think about it? It's okay to ask. I do that even today. Sometimes I ask my mom, I ask my brothers. My brothers write much better than me, by the way. Of course, they're much better read as well. I'm not as voracious as they are, but I always ask. I ask people and show them a rough draft of, okay, see, these are the points I have. How do you think I can improve? Now, what then happens is you go back to your whiteboard. When you go back to your whiteboard, you have a lot more clarity. And then you don't do anything, you go to sleep on it. Because it's always better to jot your ideas down and not do much about it at that point in time, because your mind is too active. When your mind is too active after doing all of these activities, you tend sort of to overdo your article and you get overexcited. When you're overexcited, you tend to put more than what is required in your articles. Unless, of course, you're a reporter. If you're a reporter, then you're screwed. You have 20 minutes and you have to be at your desk and writing. You become Bob. Now, there's another trick to writing. The next day when you wake up, what you need to do is look at your article in an inverted pyramid manner. What is an inverted pyramid? The inverted pyramid is a technique that journalists have been using for almost 100 years now, more than 100 years. When today journalists are trained, they are trained to write it in an inverted pyramid structure. The inverted pyramid structure gives you what is the most important points on the top, what is not so important in the bottom. It's as simple as that. Now, when I say inverted pyramid, you might be asking me, now I'm going to go back to your dog story. When I said inverted pyramid, what is the most important key takeaway of your story? That has to come on the top. Now, all of you can go back and see if your articles are doing that, right? Your first paragraph, is it conveying the main points of what you wanted to say about the dog or the dog's topic that you've picked out, right? And today, when you look at very professional blogs, I've even seen Neil Patel do this. Neil Patel's blogs are very typical forms of inverted pyramid, and he writes a lot, and everybody knows that. Now, what he does is he puts the summary of the entire article in the first paragraph. So what happens is you've already captured attention. Obviously, when you give out the main important points of what the entire story is going to be about, you have to definitely support it with facts, with information like what happened, why, who, all of that, right? And then in the bottom you give them the neat, Chris, thank you very much, have a nice day, sort of a little giveaway, takeaway, and you end your articles. Now when I say this, you might be thinking, oh my god, she's talking about all this technical stuff. No, 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 it's not very technical, it's actually very simple, because I'm talking about how you can structure your article. 5 Ws and 1H. I think if people have attended the session that Success Gyan had done a few days ago, you would know that Sanjay was also talking about it. And so your intro paragraph should have what is called the 5 Ws and 1H. The 5 Ws and 1H are who, where, when, what, why, and how. For that, a very old example. This was an example that I think my professor gave to me, and it's relevant even today. It is that yesterday, Mr. Brown was shocked to find rare birds in his backyard of his Brampton house. If you look at this sentence, you will see there's who, Mr. Brown, where, in his Brampton house, when, yesterday, what, rare birds, why is probably in this next paragraph, how, he was shocked, right? So this is something that is very important for you people to remember when you write your first paragraph. Your intro paragraph is going to make all of that impact. Always remember the 5 Ws and 1H works wonders. It's just going to capture your audience's attention like that, which is why if you look at newspaper articles, they're very short, very brief, but they have all the impact that is required. Let's go to the content stuff, more content. What are the parts of content that one should definitely keep in mind while writing? While writing, you have to remember you need to have a headline. A headline is probably the most important part of any writing you do. To give you an example, a few years ago when I was still a journalist, I wrote a story about this family that was stuck inside a farm, a 40-acre farm, and there was there was some problems that they were having with some kind of Swamiji people, and there was a land dispute, a very huge land dispute. So what they did was these Swamijis, goons, they built a 9-foot wall around the 40-acre farm. There were two families inside that 40-acre farm, and the farm also had the family had a bunch of children, old people, they had a pregnant lady, a bunch of men. The family was pretty big. Now what also happened was, because it was a 9-foot wall, there was no gates, they had to use a ladder in order to get out of the farm and come back inside. And they would have, if the children had to go to school, they had to climb up the ladder and then put the ladder on the other side, and then it was quite a circus. So when I went there and I heard the plight of that family, it obviously, as a journalist, I couldn't really show my emotions, but at the back of my head, I kept thinking, oh my God, what kind of cruel people are these, right? So then I went ahead and I wrote an article that evening. I filed a simple headline with just one very large picture on the front page, which said, walled off. The story had such an impact, and this is what I was talking about when I said that your story will finally have a reaction or a transaction in the end. When I wrote the story, the next day, the big reaction that happened was my effigy was burnt in front of the Times of India office. They didn't even know what I looked like, but they had a lady's effigy and they burnt it, and they burnt the newspaper's copies, which really doesn't make any difference to the newspaper because at least they bought the newspaper. If not anything else, I would consider it circulation. The other thing that also happened incidentally was a high court lawyer happened to see this article on the front page of the newspaper and read through the story and took up a suo motu case on behalf of that family and got their land back. Now that is an impact, I would say, is something that I could pat my back for myself. Headlines are most important because it catches everybody's attention. If today what has happened, and I see that all the time, is you have how-to stories, you have the same old boring, how did I do this, how do I do that, how do you get this, how do you get that. If something can change in your how-to, definitely make sure that you can and add that. A byline is very important because that's your personal brand. All my stories have a byline. I will show you that in a little bit. But all my stories have a byline. I always make sure that I put my full name, if possible. Also put your Twitter handle or your website or whatever it is that you can, and you want your audience to see. A place line and a date line makes a big difference. A place line is where you're writing from, and a date line is the date that you wrote that article on. I'm not sure how big a difference it would make on your blog, but I know that it would make a big difference if you're trying to brand yourself as a person from, let's say, a Jalandhar or a Mysore, for instance, and say I'm a small town person, but I can do a lot sitting right out of here. If you're using pictures, definitely use captions. And I would suggest also use pictures, because a picture always speaks 1,000 words. You can write 1,000 words, but one picture can do that for you in an instant. And with today's, I think Shilpa Shri, of our group, she was telling me how important it is to do your SEO for pictures. And I think also Deepak talks about it all the time. Use pictures. Pictures are very important to give you an impact visually, and give your audience a break from reading monotonous number of gibberish words that you put together. A caption helps because it gives it a little more legitimacy in terms of what this picture is and how it relates to your story. The next part of the content is your body. Your body, should not be something that bores people. Imagine Kareena Kapoor's face and, let's say, I don't know, a man's body, right? It's going to make it look really bad. It's the same thing with writing. If you have a beautiful face, you better have a beautiful body. I'm not trying to body shame anyone. Please do not raise those fingers here. I'm just only trying to make a joke. But your articles definitely have to have structure, and the body will make all of your structured articles and blogs look beautiful. Quotes are very important parts of any blog, any article, any news story that you're writing. It will help you give, number one, credibility and legitimacy. Now let's say you're writing an article about about dogs, and how it's a menace. If you have a quote, let's say from a commissioner of the corporation, or you have a veterinarian doctor who talks about how dog menace can be curbed, what are those things that you need to do? Your article will gain weightage, not just because you've written an article that is of importance of that day, but also because it has already brands attached to it. The commissioner of the district, a corporation, is a brand in himself, and he's given you a quote which is legitimate. A veterinarian doctor who's a specialist in animals is giving you a quote, so you've added that into your story. Now, apart from that, if you're able to get some interesting data from, let's say, 1954, when a similar thing had happened, because you've done your research, that will add more weightage to your story. So you have several different angles in which you've covered that story. The third thing that you have to be very careful about when you're writing is, some people, like I am very excited about my first paragraph. My second paragraph sometimes kind of dies. And I say dies because it loses the charm, because you've done something so awesome. You've put your headline, you've put your place line, you've got your a beautiful image out, your caption is amazing, your lead paragraph is fantastic, you've got quotes, you've got all of that. Your second paragraph sometimes dies because you've got too excited there, and then you have nothing more to say in your second paragraph. Second paragraph is very important because that's where you give the juicy details. In the first paragraph, you give the most important news information, but in the second paragraphs, you give the juicy details. In the end, always give credits. Credits are very important because, number one, you're building relationships with people. Now let us say you're talking about this same topic, dog, and you've taken quotes from the commissioner, you've taken quotes, let's say, from a veterinarian, you've taken a lot of information from different articles that you read on the internet. If you're able to give credits to those people, you will build relationships in the long run. So it's very important that you have that in mind when you're writing your content. Now, even more stuff, content stuff, because this is a content writing episode. What happens after you do your second para, right? You have to talk about how it happened or why it happened. The third paragraph is, definitely one quotation. It could be, Paul Polo, who talked about a dog. You could talk about, some, let's say, a very important person who's an authority in that particular area of or subject. You can definitely have those quotes. You can also end your article with a quote. That's the beauty of quotations. Why I love quotations is that you can start with them, you can have them in the middle, and you can have them at the end, right? And if you're a beginner, I would suggest to keep it very simple. Don't complicate, don't use complex sentences, use simple sentences, short ones. Keep your articles very informational. Make sure that your stories are written in third person and not in the first person, because third person stories are a lot. Okay, I'm not sure if everybody understands what a third person story is, but I will show you an example of that, um, as we go further into the content stuff. Puns are very important. This morning what happened was I was telling somebody that I have a broken leg and I can't run. And so this person made a very funny pun and he said, "Oh, what an irony, right? RUNNY." I can't run, but it's an irony of it, right? So use puns effectively because puns are really fun. It makes the process of writing fun. It makes you laugh, and if you're able to make your audiences laugh, there's nothing like it. You've achieved everything in life. Arrived. There's something that's also very important. At least this is something very important to me. That is the 4 C's of content. The 4 C's of content is clarity, concreteness, convincing, and courtesy. If you don't follow these 4 rules of content, you will never be able to write content effectively. And I can tell you that with very good clarity and concreteness. I will convince you why, because I'm very courteous. See what I did there? No, clarity is not just when you're writing. If you don't have clarity of mind, you will not be able to have clarity in your article. When you don't have a concrete plan of writing, you will not have that translated in your article. If you can't convince yourself that this article is going to make it, you will never be able to convince somebody else. If you're not courteous, if you're not nice, if you're not always smiling, and if you're not always showing emotions, if you're not able to be nice to yourself, you will not be able to translate that in your articles. So always remember 4 C's of content: clarity, concreteness, convincing, and courtesy. All right. So, what are those things that you have to keep in mind when you're writing? Right. Begin with a very simple draft. Don't complicate it. You already now have the tools to do it. You have the lead paragraph, you have the second paragraph, you have quotations, and you have your end. Follow this draft. Keep it very simple. Keep it very short. Keep it 300 words, 400 words. You don't have to go beyond that. A document should always have a logical start, a logical middle, and a logical end. If you follow this logical sequence when you're writing, it becomes very easy to structure your entire article. Organize your messaging. Organize it in a small, concise manner. Don't overdo it. I see what also happens is we tend to ramble, right? Especially when you're talking. And it's okay when you ramble when you speak, but when you ramble when you write, you're boring somebody else. Let's not do that. Also, what happens to a lot of us is that we don't read enough. So we don't know what the reader likes. So read so that you can write. And therefore, you can modify your article to suit your reader. It's all interconnected. Another thing that I was trained to do and has worked effectively for me is never to correct yourself while you're writing. Write it in one go. Always write your article in one short, quick 45 minutes go. I would even say 20 minutes. You don't even have to do 45 minutes. In 20 minutes, write everything that's in your head. Just dump it on a white sheet of paper. If you're writing it with pencil, if you're typing it out on a Word file, just type out everything that you have to type out and do it in one short go. And then leave it. Leave it to marinate. Let it marinate overnight if you can, and then go back to it. What I generally do is I give it a 20-minute break, and then I come back, or a 5-minute break, and then I come back. I'm able to see a lot of errors. I'm able to see spot a lot of mistakes. I'm able to see spelling errors. I can see grammatical errors. I can see a comma missing. I can see a punctuation missing. I can see a little exclamation missing. See what I did there? Another thing that helps when you write is to have bullet points. When you look at a newspaper or a magazine, it's visually appealing because it has different props. What are these props that you have to use when you're writing an article? Definitely use bullet points. Bullet points make your article stand out. You're able to catch attention of the reader in short bullet points, and when you show your entire gist of article in bullet points, people know that those are important points to remember. Use a blurb. A blurb is something that people often fail to use, but they should, because a blurb kind of gives you a gist of the paragraph. Let's say you have 4 paragraphs. If you're able to put all of those paragraphs in a blurb, they definitely help a reader, and it stands out in your article. Sometimes what people also do is they take out the most important sentence out of an article and simply transfer it into a blurb. That is a very effective method to kind of help your eyes feel relaxed. Use these little casual pop-ups, highlighting, let's say, a little portion of your article, or have a caption that comes right after a small image, or or an infographic that you definitely use. Infographics also help an article get legitimacy, so try and use infographics. Next thing you should definitely do is to redraft. When you redraft an article, you have to read word by word. I mean, I do it even today. I read my copy out loud. When you read a copy out loud, you're able to hear yourself. You're using other senses of your body. When you hear yourself read, you see, oh, I've made a mistake right here and I didn't see it. Oh, I've made a mistake in the number that I used. Oh, I must change that number. Oh, look, I've actually added a blurb in the wrong place. I should have ideally put it here. So always read your story out loud, read it word by word, read it element by element, measure by measure, number by number. The final copy, never name it version 7. Nope, that's not what you do. You always, rename your copies as the final copy or version 0, version 1, version 2. No, we have to always do it as version final, or give it a name. Just call it as it is. Like for example, this one I think I've called DDIP Vikings content PPT. When you give it a final name, that means you will not go back to it. It's meant for publishing. It's out. There's no second thoughts about it. And once it's published, it's published. Don't go back to it unless you spot a very grave mistake. Try not to make it, because you've already followed all of those steps. So you already have a copy that is clean, crisp, and worth publishing. Now, these are something that that just gave me pleasure to show you all. I follow a lot of interesting people who write content, and I really like this particular person. I don't even know how you I womp you is a really funny handle to have, but I love this person's tweets. I follow this person on, not just on Twitter, but I think I follow this person even on Facebook and LinkedIn and a bunch of other places. This is something that really hit me hard when I was learning to write something. It says, one of the best tips for writing descriptions of pain is actually a snippet I remember from a story where a character is given a host of colored pencils and asked to draw an egg. The character says that there's no white pencil. Oh my God, what do I do? So, and the writer continues to say, but you don't need a white pencil to draw a white egg. We already know the egg is white. What we need to draw is a luminance of the yellow lamp and a reflection of a blue cloth and a shadow of the shading. And we know a broken bone hurts, right? We know a broken bone hurts. We know when a knife wound hurts. We know, right, when grief hurts. Shows what else it does. So what he's trying to say here is that you should experience writing for the joy of it or for the sadness of it. So when you're writing, it's okay to smile. It's okay to like scratch your head and say, oh my God, what am I writing? It's okay to say, it hurts me. It's okay to cry when you're writing something. It's okay to squint and say, am I writing this right? Feel everything that you're writing. It's very important for you to feel everything that you're writing. It's only when you do that that you're able to translate your true inner feelings into your articles. And it's important that you have emotions in your articles, because today marketing is all about emotions. If you're able to catch that one fish hook, to a bunch of audiences through your emotions, emotionally connect your blogs, your ideas with somebody else, you already have somebody who wants to be doing business with you, right? And I think a lot of us also fail here in this particular area of writing. I see that a lot of writing that I've been reading in the last few days of being with you all is that it lacks an emotional connect with your audience. So try and find that emotional connect when you're writing. He also goes on to say, interestingly, that you don't need to describe the character in pain. You don't have to say Bob is feeling really sad. We already know that. You need to describe the effects of that pain, right? How they are unable to move. Some years ago, I had written this article about debilitating pain, um, and I talked about how a cold sweat went down a spine. And my editor came back to me and he said, "How did you think about it?" And I said, "I felt it. I felt a cold sweat go down my spine when I saw this person, and I thought, okay, this is how he must be feeling." And I wrote that, how cold they are, how their muscles ache, and how their fingers tremble, and how their eyes prickle. Just before you cry, your eyes start to feel a little, wet, and your eyes are a little, you're not able to see very well because you have tears forming. Draw around the egg, right around the pain, and you will be able to see the finished product so beautifully, right? You don't have to draw an egg. The point is that, um, another thing that you should always remember is that languages evolve. Languages always evolve. Today, samosa is a part of our English dictionary. So is, I think, what else is IO is a part of the English dictionary. So don't please pardon the languages that being used in this little piece, but the fact is languages evolve. When languages evolve, you have to evolve with it, and it's okay to use vernaculars. It's okay to write in your own language, include a few of those words in your articles, but give it authenticity. When you give authenticity to your article, it doesn't matter if you use, for example, I don't know how many of you read the book in making that I had sent out to you all, but I talked about a little place in Mysore called Valmiki Road, which is a quaint little road, stretches maybe 4 or 5 little crossroads, but has a canopy of trees, the rain trees, which have been planted for over 150 years. The fact that that road is in a small part of South India, somewhere in a little state called Karnataka, these are things that you definitely should use to your advantage, because you're able to give a visual understanding to your reader, as to where or how, or all of that. And it's okay to use those words like Valmiki. A French person may not be able to pronounce it correctly, but it's okay, don't worry about it. All right, this is something that I want all of you to remember, and I remember it all the time. I have this little poster put up in my room. It says, "No one is born a writer. You must become a writer. In fact, you never cease becoming, because you never stop learning how to write." Even now, I'm becoming a writer, and so are you. Joe Bunting, I think, put this so beautifully and profoundly when he read this, or when he wrote this, when he conceptualized this. All of us are in a journey of learning how to write. We have to support each other. I'm always there, for you all to bank on. I've done that for a lot of you people, and I'm always happy to do it, for all of you. And so let's go ahead and go back to our article that we wrote some time ago, right? And do it all over again. Now that you have a lead, now you know how to write an article. Now that you know how to write your first intro paragraph, start writing for the next 3 minutes while I take a real quick break, so that you can see how you've changed your perspective about writing. Okay, your time starts now. And anyone who has questions, please post it on the chat box. I don't know how to see. Okay, I do know how to see the chat box now that I've opened it. Let's hear it from all of you people. And maybe one or two of us can read out our stories. It's up to you guys if you want to show your stories out, and I can help you clean it, edit it. But I somehow I'm not able to get this chat window up. How do I get the chat window up, Cheshta?
You just have to press the chat button at the bottom.
Oh, I don't have it. Oh, because I'm presenting. I get it. I have to stop presenting and then maybe it will come up. Okay, I see it.
Press
I see
escape.
Yes, I see it. I got it. I did get it.
All
Wow,
right.
I see so many chats. Oh, wow, there's so many things. Okay, we will see the chats again after a little bit. Okay, anyone who wants me to edit their copy can paste it on the chat, and I will edit one or two of those copies right now. Okay, a blurb. Okay, what's a blurb? A blurb is something that looks like this. Let me see if I can. Possibly these stories don't have a blurb. Okay, so these are some of my stories that I had written way back when I was in DNA. All right, let me see if this story has a blurb. Oh, they don't do that on this anymore. Okay, see, for example, can you see that this portion is highlighted? Protest by the members of Karnataka, blah, blah, blah. This is an very classic example of a blurb. If they had put this in a little box on the left-hand side corner, that would become a blurb. Or let's see if there's any other interesting blurbs that I can find. See, can you see that this article has a fantastic headline? One man and a journey spanning 14,000 kilometers, something kilometers. And it has a little explanation. An avid biker, Arun something something, rides 14,000 whatever kilometers across the country to realize his dream. If you read the story, it's basically nothing. But it already caught your attention because of the legitimacy of the numbers we have used here. It's quite sad, but yeah, I did write sad stories sometime. Oh, so on these, I suppose you can't see the blurbs, but what a blurb looks like is something like this, right? You have a bunch of paragraphs. See, I can show you what a quote looks like also here. There's a quote right here. He talks about how breakdowns happen and all of that. So, I put a quotation mark here. So it's, you're talking to somebody, and then, some more quotations about what he says. And you can always put he says, or, whatever his name is says. And let's say there's an important thing, like, for example, he talked about he took his time to ride really safely and whatever else, right? So you take this out and put it in a little box right here in the corner of your article. That becomes a blurb. It brings your attention out of this article into a blurb, which also means that you have put in a bunch of words which you want your readers to read. That's a simple thing for a blurb. Okay, I need to do this in order to, okay. So for example, right, this can be a fantastic blurb. They have nothing for me as a rider. This is what, it was this that allowed me to explore Kaziranga and other places. I saw some of the best sunrises and sunsets and many other breathtaking sights. I crossed the only living route bridge in India at Cherrapunji. I took the route suggested by somebody at Ridermania, and he's talking about his reminiscence. You can just take this little thing, make a small box in the left-hand side corner, or even just put this in a box right here and highlight it, because you want your attention, your reader's attention, to go right into that. Any other questions that I can take? Shilpa, we will call out name after name. Okay. Okay, somebody has given me some article to write here, right? I've written a book here. I can share it by picture or read it out. Okay. Okay, the dog is enough to make me smile. I wonder why I asked this question over and over again. What would happen if you weren't there? You're my love. I like the way you see. Tama is not dog. She has become an emotion for me. Who wrote this? Nitin Joshi wrote this. Okay. Let's see how we can edit this story, shall we? Okay, how do I have this serious problem with Zoom. I don't know how to use this damn thing. Okay, let's put this out here, and then we will write that out here. The name dog is enough to make me smile. It's a very personal experience, right? I wonder why I asked this question over and over again. What would happen if you weren't here? You are my love. All right. Is this how you want your? Can we unmute Nitin, who has given me this piece to edit? How do I unmute you, Nitin? Cheshta, Nitin, somebody, can you unmute this person who gave me this piece to write and edit? Ask to unmute, or just unmute. How do I unmute you? Or do I take somebody else's piece to write? All right, guys, somebody has to speak up.
Go to participants.
I'll choose something else in that case. It makes no sense because I'm not able to hear this person. Let's take.
Guys, Deepti, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I don't know who's talking.
Nitin says she's in shock.
Yeah. I think Nitin, all you need to
wow, okay, I'm excited now.
I joined a couple of minutes late. I'm sorry,
Okay,
but I'm
okay.
here since then. Yes.
Okay.
I just spoke because Nitin, you can unmute yourself. Even I could unmute myself. You can just unmute and speak.
Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourself, Nitin. Oh,
Nitin,
take somebody else. Okay, he says take somebody else.
Nitin
All right, let's take somebody else. All right, let's take somebody else. Has anyone else written anything that they want me to? Okay, the first. Okay, Zahir. The first thing one should have is an energy mind to have. Okay, this is a good one. Let's take this one. Let's not, you know. Okay, Zahir, do you want to unmute yourself? Because I would want to edit this with you. Zahir, anyone? Zahir wants to talk or not? Zahir wants to talk. Or should we just go ahead and edit this anyway without Zahir? All right, I'm just gonna. Okay, all right. Okay, first of all, there is no topic attached to this. So how do I know what he's talking about, right? So the first thing that you need to do is give it a headline. There is no headline, and I'm very sad that, you know, people forgot the headline. And I saw that in a couple of other places as well. Now, a headline, when there is no headline, obviously, you don't know what this article is about. The first thing one should have is an energized mind that has relaxed completely with a good night's sleep. Do you agree? Oh, this is a question for me. Oh, yeah, I do agree. I thought you've written this about your dog. My mistake. No, yeah, it is. That is why I keep saying, you know, when you have your ideas, put them down in a manner of speaking randomly. It's okay to write it randomly. You can put it in any form, any method. You can put it in, you know, on a PPT, you can put it on a whiteboard, you can put it on a white sheet of paper, but don't write that same day. Never write the same day, because what happens is your brain is too active at that time, because you've, you know, researched, you've read, you've seen, you've put ideas down, and when you start writing, what happens is your brain is confused. Your brain is so confused that you will put a lot of ideas and they all digress. You don't want digression. You want focused writing. And when you're writing about one topic, write about that one topic. Don't go about beating around the bush, because we don't want that. Nobody wants to read that. That's a good question, Zahir. I want to appreciate you for that. What's the next question? Is there any other questions? Let's see. I don't see a lot of questions. How to feed a dog? Okay. Garima's got a good. Where is Garima's? Did I just lose it? Okay, how to feed a dog. I'm
No,
gonna
I have unmute myself.
Yeah, fantastic. Garima, let's do this. Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes, please.
Your article's headline is How to Feed a Dog. Feed a dog. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, try feeding your dog with love and concern. See, these are points that have to come later in the story, right? So
Okay.
let's talk about a structure. What's an intro? Who the 5 W's and 1 H? You have to follow that. So let's say today, one of the most important issues that pet owners face is feeding their beloved pets with nutritious yet nutritious yet tasty feeds as you can actually stop here. See, we've talked about when, right? What is the important issue, right? Who? Pets and their owners. Why can come in the next paragraph.
Okay.
How can come in the next paragraph. So your introduction is already talking so neatly about what you're writing that you don't really need to worry so much about how the story is going to flow anymore. We already know the 5 big questions you have to answer in your story, right? But what happens here? Try feeding your dog with love and concern. Feeding your dog can be a challenging at times. See, even this can be a good intro. This can be a fantastic intro. You can start with feeding your pet can be a challenge, and in this article we will look at
Dipti, actually, I am confused that like you told that we have to write like summary or some sort of thing at the top, na? So how like
that is the 5 W's in 1 H. So your lead,
okay.
your first lead intro, right? Your hero paragraph. Your hero paragraph will answer these 5. Let me go back to that slide and show you. Your lead should answer these 5 questions in some manner of speaking.
Some manner
of speaking. Who, where, what, when, why, how. If you're able to answer these 5 questions, if not all the 5, at least the first 4, if you're able to answer in your lead paragraph, all your story content will fall in place very easily. But this is for beginners. Please remember, this is for beginners. People who have already been writing for a while will probably experiment a little, play around a little. I play around a lot with the 5 W's and 1 H. Sometimes my H comes right in the bottom in the end. But my point is, if you read this particular example that I've given, yesterday Mr. Brown was shocked to find rare birds in their backyards of his Brampton house. It almost answers all the questions.
Right.
A single line. If you're so Wordsworth, I think, said this very beautifully. He said, I can write 200 pages of love letters. A single love letter can be 200 pages long. But if I'm able to write that in 200 words, I will consider myself a worthy writer. So that's the specialty of writing. If you're able to capture somebody's emotions in fewer words, I think you've achieved nirvana in terms of writing. I would say that. Anything else you want to ask, Garima?
No, this was good. I'll now write one, then I'll let you know.
Oh,
in a day or 2, I'll write one article.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know if I edited your article, did I?
Not the entire one, actually. I wrote only 3 lines, actually.
Okay. I'm not able to open the Shilpa Shri.
Okay, I'll check.
Wait, let me do this. Let me try doing it here. Maybe no, it's not working. This link isn't working for me for some reason. Is there some other way we can see this? Do you want me to give you Where's Cheshta gone? I don't see Cheshta on the, okay, something is happening, but let's see if this works. Yeah, it did work.
Yes. Nitin is able to open it.
Okay, let's see if it opens. What is it that I'm seeing here?
It says that you have to choose your email ID to open it.
Oh, you did write something. Oh, fantastic. Okay, let's see what you've written. Okay, I'll have to extract this, is it? Whoa, hey. I don't think I have an extractor. I can
You can
download
just read
this.
it out from that. Copy it, is it? Okay.
Yeah, no, I cannot see it very well. Why don't you read it out for us? I cannot see it very well. It says, they say a dog is a man's best friend. And I completely, okay, this is a very, very nice start. Very, very interesting start. That's also because you're a seasoned writer. I had a cute Indian dog. Be my.
I've had cute Indian dogs be my best friends.
Okay, just after I fed them. Oh, wow. This is a very nice intro. So you know what happens? You can put this as a second paragraph maybe. But on the first paragraph, what I would still suggest, although you are a seasoned writer and I don't really have to give you much guidance here, what I would change in this is that it's a cliche. Try not to do the cliche. Man's best friend is a very cliched thing to say. Try and see some other way of putting this. I don't know, maybe
this is one of the topics that was there on your list, so I just picked it up and started writing.
Absolutely. So even if it's a topic that we're writing about, you don't have to write it as it is. You can in fact change up the headline and say my best friend, my best dog, or just say my pet, my friend, or you could jazz up that little headline itself. A dog is a man's best friend. Headline could be changed to something like if your dog has a name, let's say your dog's name is Tommy, you say Tommy and me, or dialogues between Tommy and me, right?
Yeah.
So the headline can be changed fantastically. You can do a lot of things with this piece. You can, the other thing that you can do with the first paragraph is, instead of saying that dog is a man's best friend, you can say my best friend has always been a dog. My best friend has always been a dog because that's the amount of value I give to my dog. That's the kind of relationship I want to have with my pet, and therefore you're putting it very powerfully. Words have a lot of power.
Right.
Where's the chat window? I keep sorry, but okay. I see. Amit Indoria said something. Okay. No, he didn't. I don't see him. Wait. How to start loving your dog? Cheshta has written, love is essential ingredient. Okay. This also can be changed quite a bit. If I had to change it, I would put it like this. Yeah, I have a lot of notepads that's open on my computer. Okay. Love is, this is so beautifully written. Love is an essential ingredient of any living being, be it human, animal, or plant. The research shows that X% of dogs have shown sickness. Okay. Now that's another important thing, right? When you're reading or writing anything, grammar is very, very important. Here's how you change it. Your dog, this can be changed to love your dog. Love your dog unconditionally. Okay, and a sub headline can be written to this. See, that's the beauty of writing. You can have a headline and you can have a sub headline. Learn how you can master this effortlessly. Right? This can be a fantastic headline, big headline, and then you can have a small sub headline that talks about what this is about. And then you can start talking about how love is a very important thing. Again, Cheshta has been writing for a while, so despite the fact that it's Cheshta, I'm going to try and clean this up. Love is a vital part of human life, because I want to make it as short as possible. The number of words I use have to be as small, as few in number as possible. Now, research shows that X number of dogs show no, are prone to sickness due to the long in run lockdown. How does this affect them? Oh, you know what? Human part of life. This now encompasses human or animal, doesn't matter. If you really still want to reinforce this, you can always put a comma here and say, be it humans or animals. Research shows that, so you can also, what you should do ideally here is, research here is a very general term. It can also mean I'm plagiarizing from 25 places. So if you can give some sort of credibility to this research and say, research by so and so, whatever, organization shows that X number of dogs, instead of saying X number of dogs, you can just say dogs. Dogs are prone to sickness due to the long and run lockdowns. How does it affect them? And what can you do to avoid it and keep them happy? Read on. See, this is a very simple way to catch somebody's attention, right? And you've covered everything that you have to, right? You're talking about what you want to write about in this article, the dogs, and and what is the effect that the lockdown is having, all of that, right? This is kind of something that I would change this up to. Irrespective of whether it is, minimal words is also a basis of Sanskrit. Yes, it is. It is. Actually, this entire thing is taken from Sanskrit sutras. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else has questions? I'm going to take questions really quick. If somebody can moderate this, can share. Is Cheshta here even? I don't know if she's here. But if anyone has questions. Oh, Cheshta is here. Cheshta, I would want questions, man.
All right, cool. 1 second. My internet is actually a little
okay.
unstable.
Ify, I see. Guys, stay active in the chat. Okay, thank you, Nitin. You're awesome. Am I saying it right? Deepthi, oh man, thank you, Nitin. You're sweet. Expressions through words. Yes, it is very important that you express your, your article should definitely emote. Emote, when I say emote, is not just grief, because grief is something that you can. So I read this very interesting erotica piece a few days ago about how somebody was very bored of reading what breasts look like. And the fact that most writers say that they saw a piece of meat that was round and perky. Who knows? I mean, if I'm talking about an old woman, I'm probably going to write saggy balloons, right? So it's important that you emote, and you emote right. Your breasts don't necessarily have to be always perky, and I'm not always horny. So you have to kind of remember that. Personalization, able to address the need with connect. Yes, exactly. So that's what I meant when I talked about writing to your audience. You have to personalize it in order for you to kind of connect with your audience, right? Unless it's personal. If I'm not directly talking to you, then who am I talking with? Am I talking to the air? I'm talking to the internet. There are 50,000 people just like you on the internet. What will make you stand out? It's these simple steps. If you follow, your article will definitely stand out. I know that because of firsthand, experience in the newspaper industry, but this kind of works in any industry. It doesn't matter. Okay, another important thing about content structure, right? This structure works in literally any language. You're writing in Tamil, you're writing in Kannada, you're writing in Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, it doesn't matter. If you're able to do this, follow the steps, keep a lead, keep your, remember the 3 C's, 4 C's of writing. If you're able to remember the 5 W's and 1 H, if you're able to do all of this, keep your structure inverted as a pyramid, keep your article very crisp and clean. If you're able to follow this structure, you can write this in any language. Language does not become a barrier here. One question regarding affiliate marketing. Can you give some pointers on writing articles we need to write for affiliate marketing? Yes, of course I can. Whose affiliate article did I edit? Did I edit yours, Cheshta?
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, I see that you're having a really bad connection. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try not to
I'm looking through
bank on you much.
waves.
So
Just give me a minute. I'm just sending you a link of my article. Cool.
no, don't worry about it. I'm gonna just tell them what I did with your article. What you do, who am I speaking with? Shonam? Is Shonam the one who I'm addressing? Yeah, okay, Saibal, okay. So now, when you write an affiliate article, right, the same structure is followed irrespective of what article you write. But the only difference that you have is you have to have links in your article. So let's say you're talking about the top 10 books, or the top 10 music videos, or the top 5 movies you should watch, or the top I don't know, the best earphones of that you should definitely buy, or whatever. Now you follow the same structure. You have a lead paragraph, you start giving information. Here you do what I call subtopics. Now every product that you're talking about becomes a subtopic for you. So you write the subtopic name, and then you write about what this product is, and now that becomes the intro paragraph for that particular product. So you have sub intros inside of those articles. I don't know if I have Cheshta's article. Let me see if I have it. Maybe I can share it with you guys, and I can show you if Cheshta is okay with that. Or do you think you can share that,
Just
Cheshta?
pulling out the link. Yeah, I'm
You're
just
pulling it
pulling out the link.
Okay. I could do it too, I think. Possibly. Okay, this is not working for me, man. Okay, I'll let you do it. I'm stopping sharing so she can share her screen, but okay, there it is.
Really bad internet.
No, that's all right. We have the patience. At least I hope everybody has the patience. I have, but can yeah, I can see your screen. I don't know if everyone is able to see her screen, especially the one who asked the question. All right, so right, so this is a very interesting story that that Cheshta had written. I kind of interchanged the word story and articles. Please bear with me. What has she done here? Now the book, is this the first version or the second version?
It is updated one.
Okay, this is the updated one. Okay, so just scroll down a little and I'll tell him, I'm not sure if this person is a lady or a man, but I'm hoping it's a man. So
This one had changed.
right, so it's okay, we can. So this is the normal lead and your your headline and your copy. But what happens in your affiliate stories is that you have to have sub stories. So when you scroll down a little more and go to a product, let's see a product and how we've written the product story. Come down. Let's see so this is one of the books that you want to sell, right? We talk about how to be a writer. That's by Ruskin Bond. Here you can't do much because you want to give the name of the book or the product that you want to sell. What you have to do here and remember is that people who are reading affiliate stories don't have much time. So keep your lead story, lead paragraph very small. What I've done here is to quote one of our favorite passages from the book. So what Cheshta has done is she's talking about a single paragraph that you can pick out or a single quote that you can pick out of the book that she's selling. And then she's put that. And then she talks a little bit about, you will of course see how this whole thing has changed and how Ruskin Bond has connected his writings to nature, much like his other works. And that, how he encourages children to write about stuff without feeling the pressure of it, but feel the pleasure of it and enjoy it. Now, what we have done here is we've got one, headline per article that you're selling or per book that you're selling or per product that you're selling, and have a sub lead paragraph. See, this is a typical example of that. Introducing long forms to children, that part is a lead paragraph, and then you have multiple smaller paragraphs below that. So treat each product as a single article. That's what I'm trying to get at. I don't know if I've answered your questions effectively, but I hope I have. I see 2 Cheshtas here. Oh, very interesting. I do too. Saibal, can you tell me if I've answered your question? Integral what do you think are the integral components of? I don't know if you were really listening to what I was saying all of this time, but what is my content strategy? Okay, so my content strategy depends on what I'm writing. Okay, I'm very sorry that I was just joking. My dear, don't get offended. I am just a fun person like that. Arun, the integral parts of writing is to have structure. I think if your article lacks structure, then you will not be able to write well and effectively. What also happens when you tend to write is to digress. Don't digress. Focus on the yes, fishbone. Oh my God, you remember Nitin and I had a very long conversation about fishboning. That's maybe another day I can do an activity with all of you if Cheshta wants to do it, or if Nitin wants to do it, or anybody else wants it. I can teach you how a fishbone strategy works for writing. A fishbone strategy helps visualize your content much better. I will show you how that is done in another day and another time. But an integral part of your story or your article should definitely be structure. Your structure should definitely have clarity. It should have courtesy. It should definitely have the 5 W's and 1 H. It should follow quotations. It should be very mindful of the reader's time. It should be very mindful of also the language that you're using. So be very courteous when you're writing articles, Arun. I think those are some things that you should definitely keep in mind when you're writing. When I approach a new project, in fact, I'm going to be starting a new project just now in another 2 or 3 hours time. When I approach a project, I have different things that I do. One thing that I do is to brainstorm. The brainstorming session anywhere lasts between like a day to 2 days, because my projects are pretty big. I do what's called ghostwriting. I write for somebody else. So, these projects are very lengthy pieces of writing, some anywhere between 100 pages to 5,000 pages. So what we do is we put a structure to the entire book that we are doing. The book generally, if it's a book project that I'm doing, I take a few weeks. I ponder on things that you could write about. I research a lot. I keep going on the internet, and it's a back and forth story for me. I keep going back and forth, reading about other things which are interrelated. For now, I'm doing a project on marathons, so I've been reading a lot about marathons, despite the fact that I can't run myself. I do a lot of other things like, interviewing the person I'm writing for. So let's say Cheshta is writing a book and I'm ghostwriting for her. I interview her extensively. So we put a timeline definitely to it and say, we're going to finish this book, let's say in 3 months, 4 months. But what I do is I interview her extensively. We talk every day. Sometimes the topics range anywhere between, this person's personal life to his professional life. Sometimes they span their holidays that they took sometime. Sometimes they go beyond that. Sometimes we talk about feelings, because like I said, I was doing this book about marathons. I would talk about his what he would feel when he's running, his emotions, and I would kind of keep ask him the same questions. Why did you feel that? If he said, oh, I was feeling like my knees were jammed, and I'd say, why did you feel that? And he'd say, because I've been running for 45 minutes. So why did you decide to run? Then he'd say, oh, because I wanted to prove myself. To whom would you want to prove yourself? To myself. Why would you want to do that? So you keep asking these questions over and over again, and then at some point you will get a lot of answers that become your content. It's a strategy that a lot of seasoned writers use, but for starters, don't have to get into that kind of strategy and stuff, but you would definitely want to ask basic questions like the 5 W's and 1 H when you write. I don't know if that answers your questions. If it does, type yes. Anyone else has questions? I'd like to speak instead of having these chats on. So, can we do more? Or don't worry, if you want a separate session, Arun, ping me on the groups, or ping me separately, and I can do a separate session for you on another day when I have more time. And I think Cheshta will also share the recording. Will you?
Yeah, I will also share the recording, and I have also, guys, optimizing another old blog of mine as per the affiliate. So earlier this was just a travel story that I wrote, and now because we are studying about affiliation, I thought, why not monetize this blog now? So would you be interested if I share how I'm doing the keyword research on my old blog and how I'm trying to convert it into affiliate blog? So give me in the chat.
I would be interested to do. I would definitely want to know what you do there. Of course, I don't know nothing about that bit of digital marketing. Oh, there was a question that you had asked earlier on PR, right? Cheshta, do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, we can do that. Let me just take you through this affiliation one, and then next we can do PR. All right, cool. So this is like one of my hit and trial method. I am still trying to learn SEO, keyword research, and affiliation. So earlier this blog, the screen is being shared here. Are you really holidaying? And this was earlier that title was, are you really holidaying? Best holiday of my life, Chakrata. Okay, Nitin. So now when I went to the Google Search Console, I saw that I am being rated as position of number 12 for the keyword Kimona waterfall. So I thought, why not why not use it as a focus keyword and change it in my headline and try to see if I can rank better for that. So I changed the headline to, are you really holidaying? Don't miss Kimona waterfall Chakrata. Now when we go to the blog, so the header here, opening sentence here is how, because my niche is women, and women mostly who are working or who are mothers. So here I'm saying how a holiday for a mother is different from everyone in the family. So this is the pain point of a woman, that the way she is holidaying is very much different from how everyone is enjoying in the family, because 1 second, let me. Can you see the blog now?
I can see it. I see something. That's, oh no, it's still in the old story. I still see your old story of the book, the books that you are affiliating. Nope.
Mhm. Is it?
It's still stuck.
So Deepti, can you just open this link and maybe
Yeah.
you can share it?
Yeah. You'll have to stop sharing because yeah, I've just stopped. So give me a second. I'm just gonna close everything up so that this gets a little more
Maybe
bandwidth.
just let me also start trying again.
It's opening very slowly, but I don't know if everyone's able to see. Yeah, it opened. It's opened. Oh, you're sharing.
Is it working on my screen?
Yeah, it's working. It's working. It's working.
Cool. All right. Okay, so here my initial headline was, "Are you really holidaying? My best trip of Chakrata." Now, when I saw that I am rating as position of number 12 in my Google Search Console, this blog I wrote in February 2021, and I was rating for this keyword Kimona Waterfall Chakrata. So I thought, why not use this keyword in my headline and at important areas of my H1 head tag and picture. Then I might be able to get a better position from number 12 to maybe on the first page somewhere. So this is what I'm trying to do. This is how I'm optimizing my blog. Now my niche is women and mothers. So here I'm trying to associate my travel blog, my travel and to my niche, which is travel is my sub micro niche, and women and mothers are my women in 30s and mothers are my primary niche. So how I'm trying to relate them. So my opening paragraph says how a holiday for a mother is different from everyone in the family. So here I'm trying to connect my micro niche to my primary niche. So I'm using both the words, which is from micro niche to primary niche, because we have to do 3 kinds of research keywords, which is primary, secondary, and micro. This is what we all have learned. Now I'm talking about Chakrata here. So I've mentioned it in my SERP. I'm rating for Kimona Waterfall. So I've mentioned again in my SERP. Then I've given an intro paragraph. So it talks about have you traveled solo or with random people or with same community of mom? But the problem, so I've associated the problem here that most of the moms that I meet have only traveled with their families. But does this family holiday satisfies you enough? So here again, I'm talking about ladies trip is my keyword. Trip for you ladies. All right. So this is like a similar word, ladies trip or girls trip. Now an opening paragraph, and this is again I have done the alt tab for trip for girls. Yeah, so for the search volume is little low for Kimona Waterfall. But since I am already, my first important area here is to push my 12th position to my first position, and then maybe gradually I can also look at the other high search volume keywords. So high search keyword volume here is girls for a girls trip, travel for girls. So I have done interlinking of another blog of mine, which is related, because I saw my competitor website is rating very well for why women should travel with women. So this blog is not exactly about, it's not a travel blog, but this talks more about a friendship between the women. So I have linked that internal blog to it, and again I will be customizing, optimizing this blog, which is my internal blog, and I will use some keywords related to the travel blog as well. Now, I have also figured out that another high search volume is for distance between distance Delhi to Chakrata. So this I will be using as a bullet point. I still need to, structure it better, but this is again my keyword, and Chakrata weather is again a major keyword here, which is my secondary keyword. Now affiliation. I'm trying to sell here, get a cool travel bag to go with your attitude. So here, when I said Chakrata weather, I'm saying before you start your travel plan, you need a cool travel bag to go with your attitude, right? So here I'm trying to give a link. I still need to do certain things, but I will try to give link of Amazon affiliate or travel bags for women. Now this is my second piece where it says why every woman must visit Chakrata, and it's a different way of stating things that you can sit on the roadside and do meditation. You can stay at an eco house. Again, I will do some Agoda best hotels in Chakrata keyword, and add some hotel websites here to the camps and things like that. Then stargazing is art too, trekking is not. Then some caps, or I'll try to trekking, with trekking I will try to add up must carry things like carry your sunglasses along with you, good shoes. So I will try to monetize it here. Discovering the darkness, this is adrenal rush, makes you young. So this is talking about adventure sports. I will also try to add up some adventure sports here. And this was another keyword which I have just added now in this blog itself, which is 5 more places to visit near Dehradun. So I've made it to 5 more places to visit near Dehradun if you don't feel like going home yet. And then these are the top 5. I will also try to give a link of 10% off on Flying Fox at Rishikesh somewhere. So this is it. Length of blog article is usually 1200 for me. I try to do it 1200, and then because I've added certain things as well, so it would go by like under 1500.
I have a question here. I don't know much about the affiliate world, but I find that affiliate articles are really, really long sometimes, and I find them boring. Is there some way you could maybe crunch this down, let's say to a 700 worder?
Best is to give the banners and the links. So there will be every word that is being used, say, let's say adventure sports. So on the adventure sports, there will be, a link which will directly take you to the affiliate link.
That's fine, but then I find that 1500 word article is very strenuous on the mind to read. There's no way you can bring this down, or is this like a standard for affiliates?
700 to 1500 is any blog.
Standard, is it? I mean, I would definitely not want to read like, 1,500 words. I'm sure this is going to take 7 minutes, 8 minutes for me to digest. Also because there's so many links on it, right? It's yeah. But I think what one could probably do is to make the way you've put it out is really interesting, because for me there's it's very visually pleasing. It's got all the elements of a good article, bullet points. It's got captions, for example, under every image, and it's very structured. It's not haphazard. It doesn't seem to be written mindlessly, and it seems to be well researched. I think what you could also do is to add numbers, if you can find numbers from the tourism ministry or something, as to how many people go there every year. Maybe you can add something like that, and that's probably going to add more credibility to your article. But I think overall it's a very interesting story that you've written.
So I was thinking I would just, since you mentioned that sports are very interesting and you should add some statistics to it, maybe I was thinking I will ask one of the travel agent how the lockdown has affected the travel industry.
But then see, that's a separate story in itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was talking about, digression, right? When you digress from your main story.
Maybe how the women's trip has been increasing over the period of time.
Absolutely. You could talk to women's groups, who go on these trips, and ask them to give you a couple of quotes on what they did there, what they enjoyed, maybe a few tips that they would recommend, and then give them a few credits in the end and say, thank you for being part of this. It really helps you build that community without having to go on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. Instantly you have your friends giving you quotes. They became your friends because they gave you a quote, and you obviously sent that article out to them and said, see, I wrote about you, you've been mentioned in my blog, and my blog has this many followers, growing numbers of followers, and it would be great if you could share this with your friends, because we've mentioned you. Obviously they're very proud now that I've been mentioned in Cheshta's article, so they're going to definitely start sending that out to their friends, and so you make your network slightly bigger that way, not having to go on your Facebook and Instagram to build a community. That's something that I always did. When I was a reporter, I would take the link and I would send it out to a lot of my friends, family, and the people I've mentioned. Like if I've talked to the MD of, let's say, the power corporation, right? I would send that article out to him and say, sir, I've written this and you've been mentioned in it. Would be great if you could share it with your friends and family. I'm sure you'll be proud. They'll be proud. So what they would do is, immediately they would send a message back saying, thank you so much, I'm elated. And then they start following you, eventually. Oh, wow. Global Dignity, thank you so much. It's such a sweet thing that you've just done. I wish I could bring that screen up. Is there some way to bring that screen up? But so fantastic. Thank you so much for that little thing that you did. Means a lot. I'm digressing again, sorry. So I think what you should do is definitely put a quote and then mention them somewhere in the end and say credits, and give them credit. So it's like a little cookie. You go to a hotel and you finish your meal, and in the end they give you a free dessert. That's what credits are for people.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe I will reach out to some of the WOW clubs, Wanderlust women, and I will just tell them that this is the article, and some
Thank
kind
you,
of
Admin Career Gambit. I don't know who you are, but really sweet.
She's Subhashini.
Oh, hi Subhashini. I didn't know that's what your name is here on Zoom. It's very confusing. Deepika, any specific structure for self-blog? What is a self-blog? I'm not sure what that means. If you mean about yourself, is that what it means? Always write blogs in third person, never write it in first person. If you write it in first person, it'll look very amateur. When I say third person, it's okay to write to your audience, like somebody else is writing it, not you. look at yourself as another person, and you know how you would talk to yourself. So I would not recommend writing first person articles. They're very boring and like very amateur. I don't think I've ever written an article that's very straightforward and talks directly that way to the audience in a first person. But yeah, I mean, I would, if you're doing a self blog, a personal blog, do it in third person. It also feels very official, you know, like if let's say I'm Cheshta and I'm writing about myself. In my about page, I would write about myself in a third person and say Cheshta is a person who has been writing about mothers and backpacking moms for the last 15 years, and her focus has been so and so. I would write about myself like that. So I would say Deepthi MR is a journalist who has been doing so and so for the last so many years, and I would actually write my name like I am a third person writing it. Never write your self blogs in first person. Never recommend that. Something else came up. Did I miss a chat? Nitin left. Okay, thank you, Nitin. I think there's been quite a few questions, and I think we've answered as many as possible. You think we should? There's a question for you, Cheshta, about Cheshta get a do follow link from a high DA domain. I don't know if that's a.
I got that one. So can we talk quickly about the PR stuff? How to get the?
Oh yes. PR. Okay, I need to share my screen for a second, and I'll show you a tool that I use for PR. And this is a very expensive.
Just Arun here.
Very expensive. Yes.
Yeah, Arun. Yes, Arun. Please go on.
Yeah. Just I saw this article, quite interesting. I think they say that the devil is in the details. You almost made me virtually visit Rishikesh and all. I think you researched well. But only my feeling, what came to my mind is, can you just make a gist summary of it, and is it able to just pop up right side of the article?
Sorry, I didn't get it. A gist of it and make a pop up at the right side of it.
He's talking about a blurb.
Right side of your article, like a summary kind of anything.
Yeah, blurb.
Okay, so
is it possible? Like,
so I have a table of content on the top of it.
Okay, I think very few people are on left out here. I want to show you a very interesting tool that I use for PR. I mean, I don't know if everyone can afford it, but I'm sure somebody will soon come up with a free version of this. This is a tool called Meltwater. What Meltwater does for me is it gives me a sneak peek into the world of journalists. So this is where I find all my journalists. I just go here on my PR tool. And the other thing that I also do is I have built relationships over the last many years with journalists in Bangalore. That's only in Bangalore because I don't really have to travel anywhere else. So let's say, you know, we want some beat, right? Wait, I'm gonna show you how this works. See all the beats. See, there's so many beats out here. A journalist always has a beat. You know, you want, let's say, I don't know, you see anything that's interesting, travel and tourism, that's what your niche is, right? See, there are 11,474 journalists who are writing about this niche. And then you save that search, and then you go to location, and then you make a list of locations that you want these people to be writing in. So I don't know if I have selected India in my list, but this is mostly for the, no, I don't have India. So let's say Asia. I don't know if there's Asia. No, India is there. Let's see India. So if I want to see only the journalists who are writing about tourism, there are 200 people who are doing that, right? And you can just, let's say I want Suma Jain, editor of Mumbai. Okay, no, this is a boring. Travelscapes. Travelscapes, I think, is a blog that somebody, Outlook magazine. See, this is a very legit person, Sharmishta Chaudhary. So if I click on this name, it's gonna open up It should open up. Okay, it opened up. See, I've got this person's email address. It's not there, but there's a phone number, a legit phone number, thankfully. And also what I can do is, let's say I want to see Outlook India, right? So I go back. Sometimes, I get what I need immediately. Sometimes I don't. Let's see Neha Dara, if, she's a travel editor in New Delhi for the magazine Mint. And there it is. That is her email address. This is her fax. This is her phone. She's an editor. She's legit. So I just have to send an email out to her and say, I've been writing about so-and-so article, subject for a very long time. And here's an article that I would like to contribute to Mint. Or if you have any article that you're writing about, I have been writing about this for a long time, and you can send a profile out to them and they will definitely reach out to you. That's one thing that I do. Another thing that I do is I can send out press releases on this. So see, I have these 210 people, right? I just select all of them, and I'm not going to send an email out from here because it's a legitimate thing. I can send all of these people, like for example, Motor India is a very big one. For example, the Statesman is a very big one. This Travel Dairy is a very big one. Hindu Business Line is a very big one. So if I'm sending out a good press release to all of these people, if I'm sending out a press release to all of these people, I make it as catchy as I can, and give it out as a small a small I don't know, a press note along with a little goodie to these people. They definitely kind of send you back thanks and also include you in their articles. That's a big tip out there. This is for Cheshta specifically. And the other thing that I do is I build relationships. So I send out singular emails. So, if I want to make friends with this Annapurna Agarwal, who's a Travel News Digest reporter, I will send out a separate email to her and just introduce myself and tell her that I've been writing about so-and-so. This is my blog, and I understand that you've been in the same business and you write about tourism and travel and, tourist attractions. See, these are all their beats, airlines and all of that. And these are beats that also resonate with what I do. If you need quotes, I would love to help you and assist you at a time that you're writing something about any of those topics. So what they do is they keep you in mind. And also PR strategy 101 is, if you have their phone numbers, send them wishes on festivals. They'll love it. They absolutely love it. Just send them happy, Diwali, happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Hope you're doing well, hope your family, and don't put pictures and forwards and shit like that. Just put a very simple, plain message, which is very personal, and send a mail or a SMS or a WhatsApp message to them and say, it's wonderful that, you're writing such good stories. I've been following you for a bit. You can also put a small intro of who you are and send it out. Generally, it works. It's worked for me. It worked for me even in the US. I don't know how it works here. Here, I already know people. So I just call them up and say, hey, Neeraj sir, can you help me, sir? I need this article published. Or I just pick up the phone and, with Mirror, I call up the editor and I say, sir, Ravi sir, can you please help me, sir? I'm doing this. But if you don't have that kind of rapport, this works to build that kind of rapport, to definitely have their phone numbers from somewhere. The other thing that you can do is follow these people on Twitter and comment on everything that they literally say. Even if they sneeze, just please them. If they sneeze and say, oh my God, I think I have COVID, type out saying, oh, I hope it's not missing your articles. We will miss your articles or some crap like that. Just please them and they're very happy. Not all reporters, don't do it with all reporters. Some of them, like me, would snap back and say, stop licking my boots. I'm not here for that. But some people do. Yeah, exactly. Be there, tissue paper. That's a good one. Something like that. But this is the tool that I use. It's a very powerful tool. I have some 30 or 40 lists that I have, made in various industries across the globe. My lists are, mostly devices under healthcare, human resources, IoT and smart technology. My lists have mergers and acquisitions, analysts from, I'm sure this is something Shilpa Shri and Cheshta would know, the Foresters and Gartners of the world. I have analysts from there in these lists. So each list I've kind of curated over the last 3 years of working with this company, and I'll have to sort of leave this and go. So, you know, it's time to make copies, y'all. You know, yeah, I don't know if that helped, Cheshta.
Yeah, I got a fair idea about it. It's a paid tool, right?
This is a paid tool. This is a very expensive paid tool. It's I think $15,000 a year.
Okay.
But if you don't want to do meltwater, what you should do is look at you know, newspaper clippings every day and follow those journalists. Following journalists really helps, because they're, and also, you know what, they don't get paid a lot. So, you know, if you're able to sort of feel them and say, you know what, I'm so sorry that you don't get so, you know, paid a lot. If you're able to kind of make them feel, you know, the pain that, you know, and say, you know, I empathize with you, they really understand it. They like it. They like it. They definitely like it. And who doesn't? Yeah, come on. I mean, if I'm somebody who, you know, I'm somebody who's writing and getting paid peanuts for all the hard work I'm doing, and nobody even appreciates, forget, you never get appreciated as a reporter. You mostly get criticized. But if somebody does appreciate you, it feels like, wow, somebody does care. It's good to do that at least once in a way, not like every day. But yeah, for your niche, you should definitely look at I think Mint is a good long form paper to look at. You should also look at what is that magazine? I can't seem to sort of remember the name of this magazine. When I do, I will, you know, DM you. But there is a specific magazine which was part of Outlook and the Hindu, which only was niche for this kind of stories. Oh, there are two types of travel reporters, by the way, if you didn't know that. The travel reporters who write about corporations and the, you know, state corporation owned travel tourism development boards. You don't want those reporters. You want writers who are reporters who are writing about places, about different experiences that, you know, for example, wildlife, or, and, you know, there's some reporters who write, let's say, about cycling, or, you know, trekking and stuff. Like, you want reporters like that. You don't want reporters who are writing about, you know, boring stuff, which I did for a very long time. Travel and tourism departments, corporations. You don't need reporters like that. That's a very important thing that everybody should remember. If you're reaching out and doing PR, there'll always be two types of reporters. You'll have people who are very serious reporters. You'll have fun reporters. Reach out to the fun ones, depending on how serious.
Well, we have Nitin has mentioned something about Haro is also an alternative to PR. Is it Haro or Haro? H-A-R-O.
I don't know what Haro is, but what is Haro? I don't know what this Haro is. Okay, what is Haro? And okay, there it is. I think this is what he's talking about. Let's see it. Yeah, it's a very similar thing. A very similar thing. Yeah, it's a very similar thing. But I think this is also this is also a, you know, paid tool. I don't think they have a free tool yet. See, they have a standard plan. Man, this is equally expensive, dude. See, what happens with Meltwater is that you're able to do all of this at $15,000 a year. But here it's content discovery tool. You have to pay 79. Email finder is a, you know, 49. Email automation, you have 44. You're getting all of this together in one thing, and you know, that's what's the beauty of Meltwaters. But yeah, you know, that'll eventually happen when you start you know, scaling. I don't think you need to do it at this point. And PR, no, PR is a very dirty game. Very few people are able to survive in that industry. you have to suck up a lot to reporters, to people in general. In let's say you have a corporate, an Infosys that you're a PR for, and you have to get Infosys positive stories, in, let's say, the Times of India. You have to suck up to Infosys, you have to suck up to Times of India. A lot of sucking up. And, if you're not able to suck up much, then this game isn't for you. But if you're doing it for yourself, personal branding, it's okay to suck up to people because you do want your brand out. Sucking up to a small extent is fine. Not, don't go, just because somebody asked you to fall at their feet doesn't mean you should go under the carpet. That's what I meant. All right.
Okay,
This has
we
been
don't have
fun,
any
right?
much questions now.
Yeah.
So
Fun, right?
we only have a lot of appreciation for you, Deepti. So let's call it off then. Anything
Yes,
else,
and
guys?
I wanna
Just
say-
last 1 minute.
I have one small request. Is there some way somebody could take a, what do you call this? Yeah, a screenshot of this, because yes, but
Okay, so
everybody is
can we
not
have
on.
all the cameras on, please?
Please, can you have your cameras on? Thank you, Prasad. You're so sweet. Oh my God, global dignity is the best. Oh man, I love you. Thank you so much for Anu and Ritika. Priyanka, please come on the camera. Deepika, come on the camera. Arun and Zahir also, please come on the camera. It's okay if you can't, but I would really like it if you did. Somebody take a screenshot of this, because I don't know how it's done. Because my print screen doesn't work on this
Okay,
one.
print screen. Take a print screen.
It doesn't work on mine.
Can we,
Screenshots.
okay, I'll take the screenshot. Can we have all up on the screen
You can
now?
have
We have
screenshots.
12 people in the participant list. And here we only have 7.
There are 12 people. Okay, I didn't know. How many joined eventually? I didn't even see that.
22
Wow, that's a lot.
joined. In fact, at one point it was also 25. I was there twice, so maybe 24.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we have
29. Okay, 29.
Nitin, Prasad. All right, thanks, Arun. We have 9 screens now. Can we have a couple of more, please?
Hi, Arun. Zahir, hi.
Adarsh, Deepika, Divya.
Oh my God. Global dignity, man. You awesome, dude. You rock. You absolutely rock. Somebody said no yesterday. Was it Mega? They said, "Bahut aage jayega bachcha."
Adarsh, Deepika, and Divya, can you start your screens, please?
Okay. All right. It's all right. I think they're
All right,
very.
cool. Cool on count of. All right.
Yeah, come on, dude. You be a nice kid.
Okay.
Adarsh is right.
Sorry, I am doing some work,
Alright.
so
Hi, Adarsh. You're right in the middle of some kind of forestry, I see. Or is it a garage? Seems like a garage.
Okay, on the count of 3. Okay, guys. 1,
One,
show your
two,
thumbs up. 1, 2, 3.
3.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for this awesome session. A lot of awesome questions. We had a lot of fun. I want to say thank you to Cheshta and everybody else who made it possible for this to happen. We'll see each other again. Reach out to me. I'm always available on the phone. If you have articles for me to edit, send it out and I will be very happy to help you. Works?
Thanks, Deepti and Chesta. It was a rich experience. In fact, I missed it out of the way. But Deepti, I'll get connected with you for any configuration.
Thank you, Deepti, and thank you, Chesta. It's a wonderful program. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prasad.
Thank you. Bye.
Do we wait for
Hi,
everyone?
Deepti.
Bye. Bye. See ya.
Hi, thank you, Deepti and Chesta. It was a wonderful session.
Who's speaking?
Bye.
Ritika? Okay.
Ritika.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Do we wait for everyone to leave, Cheshta, or do we end the meeting?
No, we can just end the meeting.
Okay, so you've recorded, I have recorded, but I don't know where it's gonna be. So I'm banking on you.
Mine is actually, I had a power cut, so I have like bits and
Then I will
pieces of
find it.
recording. So
I'll
you
find
will
it
need
and
to
send
upload it.
to you all.
No,
You
the
can just
recording
upload it
would-
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm
No,
sure
the
it's done.
recording would be available under the Zoom folder after some time.
Right. Okay,
Okay, so you have to
I'll
wait.
check it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Fine.
Bye,
then. Yeah.
guys.
Bye. Good evening. Bye.
Bye.